Hi everyone. So with season 20 ending, I thought it would be a good time to actually talk about how I organize my stash. So if you're interested in that, I'm just going to show you how I sort it and how I also, get all the items out of the mail after the season ends, and just how you can do that rather quickly and effectively. And well, for me, this is actually quite important, for example, because I like to play PTRs a lot, so I need to have my non-season stuff ready. And I have lots of materials saved up. I have lots of items saved up for all kinds of builds, and even builds that don't exist or that I feel crafted at some point and they never came to be. So this is probably a little bit more than the typical user needs, and that's also mostly focused on the event, as you can imagine. But yeah, then again, just for those that are curious, I just gonna go over this basically. So let's start with a quick look of how I sorted this out. I have always my first tab is stuff like gems, stuff like potions. I typically have my bounty set up here as well, and then I have gifts and so on. So this is just generic stuff, and then I have one green jewelry tab basically. We have one unique jewelry tab. So like this, you can sort out, all these kinds of rings and amulets quite easily. I have lots of its joints actually. Some of them are follower items, some of them are actual, in case I ever want them for a build, really good ones. And yeah, then you have squirts and flavors and all this kind of stuff. Here is a bracer tab that is quite important. So you have all the different elements, for example, and a few different types of bracers. There's a gem slot for the high gems. So I have them kind of sorted by type and then by level. So right now I have the 150s equipped that would go here and so on. But yeah, otherwise those are here. And it's also quite nice because you always have some ready for the PTR like this. So I use typically rather low augments, and yeah, 83s is nothing these days. These are from some old season, but they're here and sometimes they come in handy. Then I start organizing a bit by sets, for example. So we have UE here, a few UE pieces. I have a rather random stuff like belts as well in here that I just had no other place to throw. But it's also quite useful to have one of each. And here's, for example, my Hellfire collection from I don't know how many seasons. So we have them also sorted by element. So for example, on the right side here is general stuff, and then we have support Hellfires. Then we have lightning Hellfires, then we have physical Hellfires, then we have fire Hellfires, then we have cold, and here we have the Shimizu Hellfires. So I don't know how many crafts this is. It's probably I don't know, 10,000 Hellfire amulets combined or so. And yeah, then we have the last tab here as well. Oh no, here's more. There's some random weapons, for example. So all the one-handers that can be useful, Dawns and so on, Helltopper even. And I have some Fury crafting weapons, for example. And here's some Natalia stuff. I actually made a little bit of space here. This is specifically for PTR. So in preparation for that, I sorted it out a bit to just have this ready to go, to just throw stuff in there. So this actually came in quite useful. 2 tabs is quite nice. Maybe 3 would be nice, depending on how much you actually save or how well you want to have it organized and separated. Here's, for example, a lot of random stuff like Andariel's Visages, Frostburns, Stone Gauntlets. And this is already getting in the direction of, yeah, I don't really need to save this. Maybe Stone Gauntlets or some builds are fine. Frostburn is not really used anywhere. Andariel's Visage is used in a few builds, but here there's all dexterity helms, so this is there's no LED builds for the Demonter anyway. But yeah, it's relics of the past. Some other stuff, Mantle of Channelings, Primal Price Force, because I found a lot of bounties. Yeah, Hexing Pants and so on. And here's even more of that. So I had 2 full tabs of LOD items, mostly focused around Demon Hunter, LOD build, or lone build back in the day with Fan of Knives. Here's my actual Fan of Knives gear from back in the day. But yeah, here's some Legacy Natalia that someone gifted to me. That gives you 2 discipline regeneration. Yeah, also Legacy Witching Hour, Legacy Stone of Jordan. Yeah, and here's more sets. And the Marauder especially, and also follower items. Also quite nice to have this ready every time you go to PTR or non-season. I just pick one of these follower items and the Thunder Fury in most cases and the shield, It's already, you know, ready to go without any time wasted. Yeah, and now we come to the actually interesting part, sorting out all this stuff. So how do you go about this when you have like 230 items, or probably more, you know, depending on how much you save? And the thing is that, you know, we already have a good base here to actually go and just, you know, put more stuff in, because there's, you know, a little bit of space everywhere and it's already kind of sorted. So typically I start with like the easy stuff. So you can take all the gems, for example. You can take like the low level weapons in case you actually save them. And then you can sort this out like the easiest, for example. Yeah, just throw this in. Now we could also go for the bracer. So we have like Burst of Clarity again, for example, because I played some Demon Hunter. Or taking arm guards. Here's some strong arm bracers that might be useful. And then you see something like this, like the Ranatnis. Just take them out. You know, they don't really take a lot of space, but they remove a lot here from the mail. Then we have Nemesis bracers. Infernal Machines the same. You know, just get rid of them to like already start cleaning out, so you don't have to scroll so much, basically. Also, you have the potions. You can also grab those. Let's see. Collect it all. And yeah, this is again here the gifts. We can save them up. I think I actually cracked the 1000 now. Yeah, this is actually way beyond 1000. Look at that. We have 1118. That's pretty cool. So yeah, maybe I'll ever need them. Who knows? And then we can also check the potions. This is like my third level 100 rest potion, just from those that I actually identified and looked at. Yeah, it's probably overkill at this point. Here's a life per kill potion. It's actually slightly better. Wow. And then we also have the regeneration, which I actually don't have a good one here. So I guess I've never saved one. So that's actually handy. And then we can check like those braces, for example. What do we have here? This is some non-nation stuff. It's intelligence, but you know, I don't really need to save some non-nation intelligence. Here's the same. And here's definitely a worse fire bracer than what I have. Here's a support bracer. I guess you could throw this in. And here's again something crappy, and this is something crappy. Here we have an augmented life per hit reroll element. It's actually a very good Burst of Clarity. It does like a GG minus the 1% missing from the affix. But this is definitely an improvement to whatever else we have here. For example, this one. So we probably remove this, even though it's reroll to lightning for I don't know what actually. We actually have another one here as well. So this is 19.6. Alright, and the rest can probably be salvaged here. We have a few stronger bracers. I think I have them anyway. So it looks like I have only DPS ones. So I guess you can throw like 1 or 2 in here. What about the Watsekian? They actually have 4.5 crit. They should never be better than what I have. So yeah, we put this in here. And this is it. Okay, I think this looks fine. So yeah, neatly sorted clarities. You have the other stuff, you know, kind of building a pyramid like this. And then you can never do anything wrong. And the rest just goes. Alright, next is probably also not a bad idea to just go for all the gems to remove the clutter. Because the scrolling is really bad in this. So you want to get rid of, you know, all this little stuff that you can just easily sort out. So maybe just take the gems next. And this will already remove a lot here. So we'll just take everything out. Okay, that should be all. Maybe I missed a few, but yeah, you can definitely throw out all the little 0 gems right away, so that they don't have to bother you anymore. And also, you know, some stuff like pain enhancers, you know, they also just stack up over the seasons. I have a few here anyway, so you can just, you know, get rid of. And then we have, you know, like the high level ones. Maybe there's like another thing that could be used for augmenting on PTR again or so. And otherwise, you can just throw all those in here. And you can also like throw out something like this, for example, if you have too many. I just slowly replace like the lower ones, basically. Okay, then it's also always good to just get rid of like these amulets in the rings and so on. So since you have them so sorted anyway, this is pretty nice. So actually comparing these items can take some time here and there. For example, here's like a dex crit of average damage. Here's also a dex crit of average damage, so this is 550. And actually you can just probably look at the sheet change. So it's 7.2% DPS, this is 6.1. Doesn't have any secondary rest, so this can just be removed, for example. Here's a strength one that can be rerolled, so this is probably worth saving because you can roll something like arrow damage, which I don't have at all right now. Here's another one. That's also worth saving, probably, with some average damage. Here's cooldown, and we have 658 cooldown with int. This is 558 with dex and fire res. And this also has So there's a bit of, yeah, you could save this, but in the end it would be a little bit of clutter for very little gain. So for non-season, I'm just gonna throw this out, I guess. You have a nice fire one. You have a 20, 91, 9 here. You have a 20, rerollable actually. 108 and lightning res. So those are very close. This one has some crowd control reduction, which is actually useful on something like Witch Doctor. But maybe actually a rerollable one would also be useful for, you know, some other amulet. For example, cold. I don't have any cold amulets here, for example. And yeah, this could definitely be changed. This can be salvaged, for example. And the physical one we have here, 19, 98, and 8.5. And this can also go. And here's also a fire one. This could be a Shimizu amulet, but I think I have a bunch of those too, where actually here you could reroll the amulet anyway for a Shimizu build. And also here's like an ancient version even with cold, there's a physical. So what about those restraints here? This is also another Shimizu one with cooldown, or just for maybe something like a T60 build where it doesn't really matter. They have like the perfect rolls. Average damage is also fine in most cases. So do I have something like cooldown and crit? Here we have actually the Shimizu thing that I just talked about. It's just better with physical res too. And here's also crit cooldown in non-ancient. So this is probably around even, but here we also have only 6 cooldown, which can screw some things up. So I would sort this out. Okay, let's get rid of some of the clutter here. We can salvage all of this. Goodbye, Primal Travelers. I don't need this anymore. And let's keep going here, so we have less. Yeah, it's only 150 messages left. And now we're slowly coming to the really annoying stuff. But yeah, first we have a few rings, I guess. So some of these might be useful to keep. You also have more of these follower relics, which I can probably just salvage right away. So I'm going to keep them and take them out right away. Here's more amulets. There's a Unity. Here's a Word Ward. Oh, that's actually like the good Word Ward from my follower with 7 attack speed, 8 cooldown, 35% secondary, perfect roll. So it was pretty nice. So we can just salvage all of this right away. And the Smoking Crucibles. Okay, let's sort out these amulets here. I know I have pretty much no good flavors on my non-season. So all the flavors, I have like this one GG flavor. It's probably equipped on, no, it's actually here. This is the GG one. Double crit, 7 cooldown, rerollable element. Yeah, this is gonna be like the flavor that I'm gonna use for like all times. So it's always nice to have a few different variations of those, I guess. And then also Zodiacs, I probably have way too many at this point. So I would only keep like the really good ones. This is probably nice here just to, you know, be able to roll it really fast. So you can keep the primal one. Here's a perfect double crit 85% DPS Oculus Ring, in case that's ever gonna be useful. I doubt it, but who knows. And we can probably remove something like this then. I actually had another one saved, but this is not perfect. Okay, also Squirt's necklaces. I probably have to make a new column for this here, because else this is gonna be a little bit too much clutter. And we have a good physical one, a good fire one. Here's another physical actually. So one of them has to go, I guess. This is 9.5 and 74. Yeah, so this is actually worse, I'd say. This is minus 6.9 on the sheet. So I can take this. Here's lightning as well. I found a lot of these ones here. Here's a rerollable one. Here's another fire one, but this is worse. And here's a cooldown one in case that might be useful for some certain builds. Oh, convention of elements. We have a double crit cooldown. We have a double crit average damage. We have a average damage cooldown. Average damage cooldown actually. So here's double crit of 8 cooldown, a little bit better value. This is probably an upgrade, even though it's a bit less sheet damage. Yeah, it's hard to say actually. So I'll probably keep the 197 here because it has physical res as well. Yeah, and then for the rest of the items, I guess we can just take out all the random stuff. So Sunkeepers, Taskers, I don't know, Burning Exercise. There's like some Frenzy Barb gear, for example, that I don't know if I'm gonna touch it again. So most likely I would probably remove all of this. I don't really have a lot of intentions to play Frenzy again. So it also depends a little bit on, you know, what kind of builds you actually like, which one you would even play again, for example, and so on. Here's also Sage stuff. Same with something like Canes for here and so on. So I'll probably just remove all this, and in case you ever might need it again, you just, you know, spend like 3 bounty materials and can craft it again. So it doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's put this right here. Can definitely remove one of these Thunder Frees. You have way too many of them. And then also we can probably put like with Hardcore 2 in there. Well, that's actually strictly a worse version of the other one I already have here, so this can go. This is the same without air damage, which might be useful for something. Almost a primal, actually. Here's another primal Sunkeeper. Oh wait, we have one already. Swampland Race is always an item that's worth saving though for many LOD builds. This is something that you need and you can only get it on Witch Doctor, so it's quite hard to actually roll. So this might be useful to save here. There's also Stone Gauntlets, they have cooldown. They also have cooldown. And they're almost the same actually. This one has physical rest, so we can probably just keep this one there. Okay, we're down to 87 messages, so we're getting there. Here's, for example, all the Marauder stuff. It's probably not that much, but I've saved a few pieces. Here's like one Natania weapon. So we can probably just do like all the Geomancer sets, all the ones right now, and see what happens. We have like an almost primal one here, so this is irrelevant. Although we could use it for like a different role, but it's very unlikely we're going to use like a generator role, for example, on Marauder Pants. So probably not worth saving at all. Also some crappy Danatas here, they can go. And here's some Marauder shoulders, they're actually really good. Area damage, 8 resource, physical. This might be better than something what I have. Here's physical, 18 area damage, 8 resource, rerollable. Here's 19, 8, 8 with physical. Okay, actually, I actually have those already. So yeah, I guess we can probably just remove this. Okay, here's some gloves. This is just typical Dex, crit, cooldown. I don't think I would need those anymore. Here's some Shimizu gloves. Here's some rerollable ones. Here's attack speed. Here is actually a 956 with augment. So in that case, I'll probably replace this actually. It's actually augment, and most likely I want to test it without augments anyway, in case I ever try it on PTR. Although in this case, actually, we might want to use one that has a rerollable stat, because there's the generator build now for UE. So this is new. I should probably keep an extra pair of pants here, so in case I want to reroll those. Okay, in this case, I'll probably just take all the other stuff and throw it in there. And this is like, you know, the frenzy stuff, some Reka stuff, so it's probably like more support stuff. At this point, I would probably just throw this all into one of these empty tabs right now, and then on the next PTR, I can decide if I want to permanently remove it. So this can be like done pretty quickly now, I would say. So we just take like this stuff here and then, you know, throw it all in. And, you know, later on you can kind of like decide when the next patch comes, if you want to test with it or not. And then this is about it. There's like barb stuff that I don't really care about, I have to say. You know, like the Doombringer that I use with my push. And, you know, like there's some other stuff as well. Band of Mites, for example. I found 3 primal band of 4 primal band of Mites, actually. That was quite funny. Here's another Demon's Legacy, which is maybe worth keeping. I can probably just keep this in inventory. And then we have some other crappy stuff here. Follower Relic, Primal, wow. Here's a Harrington of 135 and Ancient, which is probably not one. Yeah, we already have one here. This one is even augmented as well from I don't know when, so that's pretty neat. Okay, we have 30 messages pending or so, not very much anymore. So I'm gonna take those here, put it into my special tab, because I might want to use those. This is like the slowest weapon you can find, I believe. It's 0.85 attacks per second. And this is one of the fastest bows you can find. It rolls up to 20%. This is like local attack speed. So you can see like the base attack speed is very high. And maybe I want to use this for something. So let's see what you have here. Illusory Boots, for example. Here's like a pair already with Dex. Here's one with Strength and Pickup Raiders. This might be worth keeping. Here's one with Int, so why not, I guess. Here's some Portal of the Skeleton Kings. Cooldown, Resource. Here's one with Air Damage. Yeah, sometimes you have like these LOD builds that can't use Metal Channeling, so might be okay. Here's another damage SOJO, and that's actually a big one. That's probably better than one I used in Season 14 for my actual multi-shot push, because that one was actually non-ancient, I believe. Oh yeah, I actually salvaged the other one because I knew I found this one. And 2 messages pending, Ambroses and Cypher the Cycle, and this is it. Nice. So let's throw this in here. This is like if I ever play Necro, I guess. So we have like a weapon here, and then there's some more barb stuff. My Kryder shot. This might be worth putting into my Demon Hunter weapons. I don't think I had one here. Yeah, didn't actually take too long. But yeah, this is how I sort out my stash. So I've seen it all. And well, I tried to, you know, just give like a glimpse of it at the beginning, and then I don't know, why not? If people like to watch me sort it out, maybe you enjoy it. Yeah, this is just how I do this. And then, as I said, it is not super optimized, and then maybe in like a, you know, another season or 2 or 3, it becomes too cluttered again, and I might have to sort out, you know, like a little bit longer for like, you know, all these random items, or I don't really care too much at some point. We'll see. It also depends a bit on, you know, what kind of buffs you're gonna get in season 22, which is probably the big balancing update. So this is also like one of the reasons why, you know, this is really useful. So yeah, we'll see. Hope you liked this video. If you like to see me sorting out the stash, I guess. Don't let your stuff expire. It's pretty useful to have these items ready sometimes when you want to play BDR, when you want to play non-season. So just make sure you sort out at least the important stuff, like the good stuff, maybe just expire the rest. You don't have to be super precise as this. And it's already, you know, you can do quite a lot with, you know, just a few minutes of, you know, taking out the important stuff. Yeah, so this is what I want to tell. And hope you liked this video. Otherwise, see you guys next time.